Welcome to Moments and Mysteries, a calm storytelling documentary channel. In every video, we explore untold history, hidden truths, mysterious events, rare facts, forgotten civilizations, human stories, and the fascinating world around us.
Elevators operate by a simple rule. They move only with a human command. A button must be pressed, a sensor must be triggered, a mechanism must engage. But what if an elevator begins to move with no human command at all? What if it stops at floors no one selected, on the same floors, two empty corridors? This story begins with many questions and ends with a much more disturbing truth. In 2018, an electrical engineer named Mark Sullivan moved into a new apartment in Boston. He lived on the 10th floor of a modern, spacious building with two elevators, spotless and new. A few days after moving in, every night at 03, one of the elevators stopped on his floor. The doors opened and stayed open for exactly 12 seconds. No one exited, no one entered. Then the doors closed and the elevator descended again. At first, he assumed it was a janitor or a late returning neighbor. But the building was silent, the camera recordings were clean, and there was no one in the corridor. On the 10th night, curiosity got the better of him, and he checked the elevator logs. The call button had been pressed in the basement at that exact time, but the basement was locked. Only the building manager had the key. The only logical explanation, a system malfunction, he thought. But the unease inside him grew. Monk began researching and found similar cases on the internet. Japan 2007, in an apartment building in Osaka, the elevator stopped on the 14th floor every night at 2:12. The corridor was always empty. The sensors were replaced 3 times, but nothing changed. 2011, in Valparaiso, an elevator in a government building moved between 2 floors that no one had used for years. The building was empty. Cameras showed the doors opening by themselves. South Korea, 2014, an elevator in a shopping mall moved only when someone walked past it. No sensor malfunction was found. One technician said, "It's like it's responding to something else." Romania, 1999. 03, on the pediatric ward floor. Floor closed since a fire 5 years earlier. These events were not normal, Mock realized. He went alone. Something had been bothering countless people for years. Curiosity turned into obsession. Mont placed a small camera facing the elevator doors, recording from 3 o'clock to 3:20 the next morning. 11:06, the elevator arrived. The doors opened. On the 8th second, the light flickered. A strange shadow appeared on the back wall. It didn't resemble a human, but it resembled something. He zoomed in pixels, but it was still there. A shadow, a presence, and it was definitely not. Mark spoke with the building manager, Harper. "If you want something, go get it." "Right, yes. Every night at 3:11 the elevator goes to the basement, then comes to my floor." Harper's face changed. "I was afraid you do notice." "What do you mean?" "The elevator has a past," Harper explained. This modern building was constructed on the foundation of an old housing complex from the 1950s. During construction, engineers found an old mechanical shaft, dark, damp, a long, hollow space. Inside was an unused abandoned elevator cab. It was too much trouble to remove. "So that cab is still down there?" "Yes, powerless, disconnected, unused, but not untouched." Mark frowned. "Then why does the new elevator act as if someone is down there?" Harper did answer because he had no answer. At noon they went down to the basement together. The air was freezing, about 15 degrees colder than normal, and in the far back corner stood a rusty, blackened old elevator door sealed with welding marks. But there was a problem. The weld marks had fresh scratches, sharp ones, as if someone inside had been trying to get out. Monk's throat went dry. At that moment, the modern elevator made its ding sound. The doors opened. It was empty, but the floor display read AD2. Harper stepped back. Mott moved closer. The lights flickered. The doors slowly began to close. A cold breeze wrapped around Mark's legs. as if something unseen had just stepped out. Harper pulled him back. "Don't go inside." That night, Mark installed more cameras, placed audio recorders. At 3:11, the elevator arrived. The doors opened. A sick mechanical creak echoed. Signed, a modern elevator should never make. When he listened to the audio, his skin crawled under the creaking. There'd something larger than a human. Something was inside the elevator. Not someone. Mark researched further and found disturbing connections around the world. When old shafts and abandoned caves were sealed, new elevators built above them began behaving on their own, as if the old elevator still wanted to perform its job, as if it were waiting for a passenger it once lost. Theory 1. Residual energy. Old shafts produce electromagnetic echoes that disrupt new system. Theory 2. Infrasound. Some closed spaces generate low frequencies. Elevators may respond as if receiving commands. Theory: some elevators repeat the final route of a passenger who died or disappeared, teamed to reach the floor they were supposed to reach. And sometimes they look for a new one. Point 8. The final night. The next night at 3:11, Mark stood in front of the elevator. His camera was on. The elevator came. Lights flickered, and this time the shadow was clear. Tall, very tall, its head, tilted cherubs hanging down past its knees. The air became icy. Monk's breath turned visible. He whispered, "What do you want?" The elevator lights went out. The corridor sank into darkness. A metallic moan rose from inside the walls, like an ancient machine awakening when the lights returned. The elevator door was sealed, as if someone had welded it shut again, and the display showed a single thing too, not on the plans. Not real, but there it was. The next morning, Harper found a note at Mark's door. "I will find what's beneath this building. Someone has to understand." Mark was never seen again. The night cameras captured a single clip. At 3:11, the elevator came once more. The doors opened, and for 12 seconds, a figure stood inside. Tall, bent, not human. After 12 seconds, the doors closed. The elevator descended to a floor that does not exist. BC2. This day, reports continue to appear around the world. Elevators that move on their own, doors opening on empty floors, call buttons lighting up with no touch. And in every case, one detail repeats: an number, a pattern, a floor that never finished its final ride. Some elevators don't wait for passengers, they go to find them.